I was pretty young when this version of Holmes hit TV, and I remember very much at the time that I did not like it. The reasons were many. He was a very different Holmes than what I was used to. Before this I had seen Basil Rathbone's version of Holmes. He was very good, but it was very light-hearted, and Watson was an utter fool who bumbled around for comic relief. As a kid, this was all fine and dandy, as they say. Holmes was Holmes, and there was some laughs. The stories also moved at a pretty brisk pace, never slowing for more than a moment before tearing in another direction. Come, Watson, we haven't a moment to lose. Holy Moriarty, Batman. Jeremy Brett's Holmes, which I now totally love, is in many ways the exact opposite to many that came before. His Holmes, while he can be very fast-paced, did tend to move at a slower momentum. He digested data. He had a coldness to him that I misunderstood in my youth, because it wasn't quite cold detachment. Holmes knew he needed the data, and reacting before having it, even if someone's life was in danger, that would not help them. But there are several occasions where he showed great compassion. In Hound of the Baskervilles, hugging the terrified Lord Baskerville and telling him that he had been very brave. Another key change for me was Watson. He was no longer this stumbling fool. He was an army doctor, like he always was, but now he was believable, brave, stubborn, intelligent, good in his field, loyal and dependable. Holmes could be difficult and mean when he was in his dark moods, but Watson was not someone who he had just hanging around. Watson also had clever observations for which Holmes would genuinely congratulate him for. The condescending pat on the head was gone. In the series, Watson was his own man. His drug addiction was very much the forefront at times. He needed cases to beat off his depression. I always disliked that about this Holmes, but as an adult I appreciate it a lot more. He drops to his knees in mud or a field to examine footprints or some other clue. He smells things a lot more than the other versions, cigar stubs as an example. His laugh can be full, but often it will be a single ha when something grabs his humour. His smile flashes but for an instant. He treats most people politely, and it is only fools that he truly dislikes other than criminals. Jeremy Brett is an actor that I adore. He has a rare gift, and that was being an excellent conversationalist. With many gatherings there is much talk but little said. He could talk, and in that there was substance. It is these individuals after which you have spent an evening with them that you leave feeling the better for it. You may leave tired at the end, but yet feel a sense of refreshment and a lightness of the soul that only comes from contact with these exceptional human beings. He was born Peter Jeremy William Huggins at Berkswell, Warwickshire, on the 3rd of November 1933. He struggled academically but excelled at the arts. He attributed his learning difficulties to dyslexia. He was educated at the prestigious Eton College and would go on to the Central School of Speech and Drama, graduating in 1954 and taking the name Jeremy Brett. He would go on the stage in several Shakespeare plays before moving to TV, but it was the role of Sherlock Holmes that gained him true success. He loved the success but found Holmes a very difficult role to play. He would throw a great deal of passion into the part, but felt that Holmes's nature could steal your soul. Brett struggled with quite serious depression over the years, and would die on the 12th of September 1995 from heart failure. He is, for me now, the finest Holmes that there is. With my totally biased admiration for him, would it be possible for the miniature bust to be able to meet my expectations? Surprisingly, yes. I was absolutely blown away when I received this figure. I have many over the years that have impressed me with detail, but the sharpness of the detail on Holmes was second to none. In all honesty, I did expect to like the figure. I did not expect to see the detail so strong and so defined. It's not just the likeness which is excellent, but the attention is in the details. The raised buttons, but also the buttonholes, something I don't often see in figures or busts. The sheer sharpness of the overall detail on areas like the cuffs, I've never seen this before. I have figures with excellent detail, but this is so sharp in places it feels like it could almost cut paper. The likeness is amazing, and there are so many figures that don't hold up to the people they are based on. But again, this is incredible. The violin was excellent, but functional detail. The strings are great and it has the nice patterns, but it's been trimmed to fit under the chin. You probably won't see the trimmed area once it's in place, but it's something to be aware of. The only issues with the figure are on the arm. The bow is a bit bent, and hopefully the hot-cold method will work on fixing that. The detail on the arm is awesome, but there is some scuffing from where it looks like the mould entry point is. Overall though, this is probably the best figure I have ever owned. No bubbles, no flaws other than the one on the arm. All other paw points seem to be on areas that will be covered up when he is glued together. The subject matter is perfect for me. I cannot wait till I can clear my desk and start on this figure.